There's just 1 minute to showtime.
The engines are on.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
When they wrote up the systems and the rule set that we use, did working people get to write a line? What class of men on pen and paper jotted down their clues? With capital the heart of their design. When 90 million want a thing, but some shareholders say no. Which class of people get to have their way? The people read the fine print and say that this thing has got to go. And we'll start writing a new contract here today. Don't you know that hundreds will work and one man keeps the money? They don't think they gotta tell us why. When they say the new social contract, all the bosses will be gobsmacked and everyone will want a sign. Oh, yeah, everyone will want a sign.
Okay, hello cousins, welcome to program. I think we are in good shape here. We came on this morning to find out that, or this early afternoon this morning, wherever depending you are in the country, to find that things were a little bit different, and we kind of had to scramble to figure out what exactly was different. So it looks like everything's working like it should be. So thank you for joining us, and we're going to figure this out together. As always, I am joined by my talented, illustrious co-host, our own Mr. Mayor Jared. Hello, Mr. Mayor Jared.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Yeah, all right. Everything looks pretty good so far. So, yeah, we've got a couple of ongoing stories for you. Return of Jeffrey Epstein. You know, every time we talked about it, you knew this wasn't the end of the story. It just keeps getting worse and worse all the time. So here we are. We're going to have a couple of other, related stories. There's a distraction tactic, going on in Mexico right now, or I guess it already happened, but it's kind of ongoing. We'll have some updates on this Epstein business and, some satellite issues that have been going on with it. So we also, this fine day, have a bonus episode for you. Jared is going to continue his reading of... what was it again? I can never remember the title. I know it's by Engels, but
We are reading Frederick Engels's Socialism, Utopian and Scientific. We read chapter 1 last time, where we talked about the old conceptions, utopian conceptions of socialism, which a lot of people slide into today. That's the relevance of why we're reading it. It's very tempting, because the reason the reason most people start looking into communism or whatever in the first place is they're like, what if things were good? Like, that's usually where people come from. And it's very nice and fun to sit there and kind of just
Mm-hmm.
do a D&D campaign in your head about how things are going to be perfect and we're going to have this great society and it's going to be like this.
Right.
Which you have to have that somewhere in your heart, because that is kind of like the point is to get to a better society. But if you go about utopian methods, they just are proven ineffective. That's why. It's not because we hate you and your dreams.
There's no good daddy billionaire out there who's going to fix everything.
We've tried daddy billionaires. We've tried people who are basically just let us simply soften capitalism in a way. It's like it just doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
You end up with slaves again every time.
So yeah, no. If you're into musical theater, there's no Daddy Warbucks coming for you. So so we'll have.
And this time we're reading chapter 3. Sorry, I buried the lead. Reading chapter 3, which is historical materialism, which is giving you a description of, okay, so if we're being not utopian, what should we be doing?
What we should do? Yeah, exactly.
Historical materialism, and studying what has happened.
With that very catchy title that obviously won't stay in my dome, but yeah. So stick around for that. We'll go off and we'll come back on shortly thereafter. So probably that would be around 2 Eastern time. Yeah. So I may have frozen. Okay. Maybe. We'll see. All right. So Jared's going to start us off, which is good because if I have frozen, I don't know if you can hear me.
We'll
But
see if you're going down. You're good for me. You stopped and then you sped up when you went
oh,
fast motion with your mouth going
oh,
faster.
good. Yeah, I love that. I love that for me.
I
Yeah.
don't
So
know
why don't you
what
go ahead
people
and
are
kick things
seeing
off
is
while I get to normal speed?
the real thing.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let me throw this up here. Over the week, I don't even. That's the thing. It's already almost kind of like done. I expected there to be more, a longer running, I guess, drama. Oh, see, I went to a different screen. A longer running drama about this, but there was a there
Right.
were here are clashes in Mexico City. I'm going to try to do a shortened version of this myself, just like kind of the news cycle was. Riot police deploy tear gas. Whoa, look at this! Whoa, people are freaking out. What's happening in Mexico? Are things really bad there? All right, demonstrators dismantle parts of a bear. Oh, and I think this guy is. It will kind of get. They're using like One Piece imagery in this most recent round of protests. There's been in Nepal they were doing One Piece flags. In this one they're doing One Piece. It's really the Straw Hat Gang flag. If we want to be specific here, but I think this guy might be in some kind of cosplay. It looks kind of like when it looks like an American protest. Where are we? Thousands of people have rallied across
Obviously,
Mexico.
they want there's some very specific imagery going on here in story in this that they want American readers to take away from.
We're reading from Al Jazeera here, in case we. Yeah. Oh, you can read my bar, aljazeera.com. Thousands of people across Mexico have rallied, protesting against growing crime, corruption, and impunity in demonstrations that were organized by members of Generation Z. The Gen Z thing has been thrown around a lot. If you look at, there's been a lot of like interviews of people who went to the protests, and it was not necessarily all very young people. We have the former president Vicente Fox was there, like right-wing former president of Mexico. To simplify everything, to not freaking get into it.
Yeah, and
But
it's something about I saw it quickly, but he was wearing a shirt that
he
with
was
this,
in the
like
One
a
Piece
straw
shirt.
hat. Yeah,
He was
yeah.
It's like, how do you do, fellow kids? Yes, this is
Right.
an organic, just a normal, a natural Gen Z-led protest of young people. Grassroots move. Look, even in Al Jazeera, that's why I keep scrolling down here. Inorganic. Half the
Inorganic.
article. The protest was categorized by a group calling itself Generation Z Mexico. It had it said in a manifesto circulating on social media that it is nonpartisan and represents Mexican youth that are fed up with violence. Sounds like a No Kings thing. It's like, we don't have any demands. We are nonpartisan, that are fed up with violence, corruption, and abuse of power. Right. Earlier this week, however, some Gen Z social media influencers said they no longer backed Saturday's protests, while mainstream figures like former President Vicente Fox and Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas Pliego published messages in support of the protest. So this billionaire supported organic youth protest. Like, basically nobody fell for this for even a second is what we're seeing with this, because this is the initial report from Al Jazeera, and it's like inorganic. Several Asian, African countries this year, members of Gen Z demographic group, have been organized protests against inequality. And then they're going to mention Nepal back in September. Do you guys even remember that one anymore? I remember Nepal happening. I don't. It's,
Kind of.
there was I'm stealing this from somebody else, but they
Was
made
that
the
the
point
one
of.
that kind of turned into a riot? Or
Yeah, and they like chased a couple people into the river, like their senators got like. I don't think they killed them, but they got like they're like, oh, like run for the mob, and they got.
you're in the river
They
now.
escaped
Take it.
in the river. I hope no one was killed. I don't want to be laughing about it if they were, but yeah, we seem to be at a. Oh, what was I saying before? I steal this idea from somebody else, but like all the easy things have been tried, and that seems to make sense. Where like all the obvious moves have been made, so now we're just getting increasingly ludicrous. Like, we're about to talk about an email where everyone now kind of thinks that Donald Trump blew Bill Clinton, or is that what they want you to think? Or like, it's
Right?
like everything's just gonna get more and more ludicrous from here out, as it already is so ludicrous. And I think this is kind of an example. These like billionaire backed the like, imagine you're doing your No Kings protest and George W. Bush showed up. Oh wait, he fucking or Clinton was there. I actually don't know if George W. Bush was or not, but like, if the establishment is just at your protest,
I
how are
think
you supposed
Hillary
to take
Clinton
any of
was.
this? Clinton was definitely there, right next to like AOC and Bernie, and
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that the authenticity is really there. Inorganic.
And they couldn't even like get their. So this is just a Medium post. This is just some guy who's saying this. We're I got Arturo Dominguez, but I wanted the truth about the protest. And in his Medium article, he goes on to say kind of what we were saying, like, this is phony. This is being supported by, this is just the old establishment who's mad that they lost elections. This is what happens if you have a third party win your election and the U.S. doesn't like it. They'll be like, you know what, we're going to agent provocateurs. And we're going to try to whip up. Well, look at who else was at the protest with their one-piece flags. We just have Nazi guys, I guess. Somebody had it. There was a photo they spray painted. It was like, Puta Huda. It was like basically the Jewish bitch. They spray painted in Spanish on the wall. It's like, oh man, like this. Woo! Bring back liberal democracy.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen this tactic before. Like,
because these are people who are saying that she's a horrible dictator, right? And she's against the will of the people, and blah, blah, blah. And then the people who are protesting her are just, here we go, here we are.
I think it's funny that every time someone United States brands as a dictator, they're overwhelmingly popular with their people, and they will tell you the exact opposite.
Majority of Mexican voters supporting the movie. Like if you go through their actual elections, they oh yeah, we are Jewish whore was put on the Jews. Like come on, man. And then here's maybe why the real reason is. More than 8.3 million people pulled out of poverty in Mexico between 2022 and 2024.
A 2-year span.
And this is an article from August of this year, just a few months ago here, where it's like more than 8.3 million people will pull out. Like she's been doing a good job if you're going by certain metrics. I know it's hard to know if you don't live there.
They've done a lot of infrastructure projects as well, and again, she's overwhelmingly popular.
She's like an 80% approval rating, and it's like unless you think that she has some like crazy situation, like is she making up, are those fraudulent polls? Has she like fixed is the government so corrupt in Mexico that we can't trust their elections? Because they'll start saying stuff like that if they really don't. That's what they say about Venezuela, and I don't really know. I don't really care. It's not my business. I don't care what happens in any of these other countries, which makes me sound mean, but also that is my foreign policy. Stop messing with those other countries, because if you do, guess what a funny byproduct of that is? The whole imperialist project falls apart if you stop messing around with other people's countries and leave people alone and just let them develop. Get out of Niger, get out of freaking Bahrain, name a country, get out of there. Stop. Israel, have a great war by yourself. We should not be paying for it. Mexico, whatever you're going, best of luck. Might go with God. Like it's not our business. We should not be
leaving them alone. But obviously, we have to, fan the flames of nonsense here because you're making America look stupid. So because you're doing so good, so that's exactly what we end up.
Maybe she's not cutting the deals they want her to cut. Maybe she's not on the Epstein list.
With America.
Her not being on the Epstein list means that we have to go in and replace her with someone who is.
Right, exactly. It's funny that when the timing of when these things turn up, when things are going exceptionally bad in the United States. Oh, look what's happening right there. Our neighbor, they're horrible. Can you believe it? Give me a break. Like it's ridiculous.
At the same time,
I know that again plays into the Epstein thing in a kind of an adjacent situation, because everything that's happened in all the tariffs, all the nonsense, all the ICE stuff has been Trump and his supporters and his cabinet, and that's kind of their backhanded way of trying to win favor with their base and distract everyone else with madness, and it hasn't worked at any stage of anything. And he will never be able to deport as many people as Obama did, or even Biden at that point. Like, they're really trying to tie one on here, and it's not working.
We get to swing back after this. You get to have the reaction to Trump, which then we get another Democrat who's going to be able to do crazy shit because nobody's going to be paying attention. Because that's how it just works. Everyone's really mad about the same stuff that we were mad about 2 years ago, 4 years ago, and for most of our political existence.
And
but only when Trump was president are they like with us, like, yeah, we agree. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, freaking hold on to this. As soon as they flip colors, notice how nothing changes.
Yeah, it's always the same, and that's something that was like paramount on our show. We're always constantly talking about that like people have these short memories. They have no fight, no bite. They'll let anything happen to them. They're waiting for the hero will rise, situation.
I'm starting to believe in like the mass hypnosis theories, because it's like there's no way people are this dumb, man. Somebody has to be doing something to them. I can't let myself believe.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to, when you separated yourself from that, from the red blue nonsense, then you start to be like, why are people this stupid? And there's no answer to that question, really. Like that's the issue. It's like, how do they, I was there, he was there, we both openly admit to being shit libs once upon a time. So you do get caught up in it when you realize, until you realize that there's, you can stop. Like, you don't have to keep doing this.
If
But
only more people would vote for one of these two parties, certain
Right.
things would be great.
Yeah, but then the majority of people, don't see that there's an alternative to this. And they get caught up in these identity politics, and that's exactly what they want. Both, we're constantly saying two different wings of the same bird, uniparty, 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 and we're not the only ones that say that. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've already heard that many, many times. But that's the message that just can't seem to get through to, mainstream America. And beyond that, it even looks like, oh, well, this has got to be, really good for Blue or anybody else, because Team Blue, because like he has been hemorrhaging his base all this time, because like they voted for him again, whatever, and both times, and even more people probably this time. Because they thought they were going to get something, and what did they get? Nothing. Even worse living conditions. They got their food stamps taken away, because statistically, they're the largest consumer. Trump voters are like the largest, I wouldn't say consumer, but largest beneficiaries of or subscribers of needing food stamps. So he just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing them. So the base, the hardcore base is shrinking all the time.
That's how you can tell, like, the quote real ones. And I'm talking about random voters, these like sycophants who are like the
Right.
talking head. Like Ben Shapiro seems to be just the example of the current like form of opportunists, where they have to. It doesn't matter what happens. They really do they actually do let's just justify anything that comes out. It does not matter what it is. We will say that's good for him. Weirdly enough, I think Alex Jones is now like he's been cracked. Even he does that shit now, where it's just like, doesn't matter what. He used to be like a Epstein captain of like, let us. Come on, man, release
Right.
every file possible. I talk about every conspiracy, and now suddenly he's just like, nope. It's like maybe that's why he's like still alive. I don't know, like out of prison. Remember, like the whole Sandy Hook
Right.
thing. Like you figured he would be just out of public life forever after that. It's like, no, he's kind of back again. I see his posts just popping up on things. I see his ads. I'm like, oh, all right, I guess.
And everybody's
Alex
got
Jones
their
is back.
stand. That's really the point of all of this. Is everybody has got their stands. It doesn't really matter. Like there's always going to be, even if they're paid. Like Trump was
It's
paid.
an industry. It's a business. Like being the friends of one of these two parties, in the same way that you have the same thing freaking going on. And with, I don't know, is Destiny a Democrat version of this? Like, I don't see. It's all over the place. It's opportunism. It's
Right.
And it's not even saying that people are evil. You got to make money. I understand the motivations there, but. Who boy, could never be me. Could never see.
Right, yeah. Once you like get into the matrix, or like leave the matrix, I guess, the red pill situation, and you leave that situation and think about like, okay, I can see the whole picture now, and that really sucks.
Most regular people are fucking pissed, and that's how you can tell who the quote real ones are or not. Specific individual voters. Are they mad because of the wars? Are they mad because of the Epstein nonsense? Or have they been like, I'm out? Like, have they eventually? Or are they still actual, literally, quotes, cultists? Because the cultists do exist. I just don't. In the same way that when we were in Bernie time, they're like the Bernie Bros. Who he's this horrible, horrible guy actually, and they all hate women. Or like they were doing that shit. Like,
Anyway,
like, you see who the real ones are.
Any way to spin the story, but and then again, we sit there and say like, oh, maybe they're learning something this time, and it's not. It'll just be a replay of every single election up to this point. But I think that eventually, we're going to hit a breaking point. Eventually, we are in the beginning stages, and I do say beginning because this can go for a long time. Beginning stages of the United States collapsing.
Are people gonna give up? Well, give up at least on the electoralism. Where are we going to see like a big dip in total voters?
Right.
Are we going to have? Oh no, the Democrats are back now. They're all energized. So now,
right? Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to it's going to be Gavin Newsom and some yahoo with him, because everybody is just ate up that that he would just put out AI images of himself looking like a superhero doing dumb shit like the White House has been doing with Trump, or tweeting in all caps and to mock Trump like that. That is so like. you really can't get like
Dark woke.
right, yeah, and then this is a guy that like literally subscribes to all these theories. He's done awful shit. He is, a blue Republican basically. So, like you
Californians
guys are
don't
gonna get
like
it
him. I don't know how
again.
you become the president if you don't win California. Every California I know fucking
They hate
hates
this
Gavin
guy,
Newsom.
right? And that's the bet that the Democrats are taking. Who whatever their stupid strategy, whoever they're taking money from to lose or whatever, and they could
Maybe he
die.
runs as a mainstream Republican against Donald Trump's third campaign.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
There's
But
only one
he's
way to beat him.
it's going to be like I think completely one-sided this time. Democrats against Republicans, and you're just going to end up in the exact same mess. Now,
Want to talk
here's
about the emails?
here's the mess. Well, this is some news as of 20 minutes ago. I'm going to just read you this real quick. As of 20 minutes ago, the House, we were kind of waiting on this today. For some reason, there's always action on Tuesdays while we're on the show, but it happened in real time, so I can actually tell you about it. But as of 20 minutes ago, Twitter is reporting that House approves Epstein File Transparency Act, that's what they're calling it, forcing DOJ disclosure. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the Epstein File Transparency Act on Tuesday, meaning today, by near unanimous consent, requiring the Justice Department to release all investigative documents on Jeffrey Epstein within 90 days. Bipartisan lawmakers, including Representative Thomas Massie, Ro Khanna, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, led the effort despite resistance from President Trump and internal MAGA divisions. Epstein survivors testified in support, highlighting the need for justice for over 1,000 victims as the bill now advances to the Senate. So it hasn't passed the Senate yet, so it's not an actual thing. This is the proposal. It passed the House. And again, this is a bipartisan situation because it says Thomas Massie, who's Republican, Ro Khanna, who's Democrat.
That's what makes me trust this whole thing the least is whenever everyone agrees, it's like, oh no,
Yeah, right.
what's
And then we
happening?
have Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's part of this problem because and every time we have to bring her up on the show for saying something right, it makes our skin crawl, and we hate it because she is a complete, right-wing psychopath. There's like no other description of this. Just because she's had a couple of good tweets about housing and food and about the Epstein files does not change this. Yet if you watch the nightly news, if you're reading the newspapers, the mainstream media is now trying to rebrand her as a leftist to funnel people further back into white-wing ideology because they're state media and that's what they are paid to do. So they're always going to support team whoever's in charge. So don't buy that. Even if we talk about her or something she said or somebody else, it's all just minutia. It's all just blah 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 because she's not in charge of anything. She's nobody and she is through and through a right-wing psychopath. And that's again part of the distraction tactic as well. And they say that in this blurb here that that they led the efforts despite resistance from President Trump and internal MAGA divisions. Then just a couple of days ago, we had this flip-flop where Trump was like, oh yeah, sure, do it, let it out, despite the fact that he had been resisting it all this time. So why might that be? Well, enter Mark Epstein, who seems to be all over these emails and behind having some outspoken information here. Who is this feels like a soap opera, honestly, or like like the telenovelas or whatever. It's like like Jeffrey Epstein in a mustache comes through the door and it's like, see, this guy.
Yeah, like you never hear new characters are getting introduced. You're like, oh, he has a brother, right?
Right? That's exactly. He's my twin brother, Mark Epstein. I'm the good one. Who the fuck knows who this guy's about? I don't know.
It's always
if
about the interpersonal drama and never about the banking shit. Look at this scandal. Don't look at the money launder. It's like people.
So,
it's like,
yeah,
wait, why
exactly.
is Epstein important? Because of his
right. And who
underage
gives a shit about money at
prostitutes?
this point, right? Who cares? Like there are actual victims involved here. People have lost their lives over this. Like there is, some. It's at over 1,000 victims who have been part of this that are known or that have come forward or did not maybe die ahead of time, but for some reason this and that. So enter Mark Epstein. See, it is I. He says that the emails that have been released or that are being talked about or leaked, however you want to look at it, and the files that are supposed to come now for this Transparency Act have been sanitized. And that explains why Trump flip-flopped suddenly on like, hey, yeah, let it out, let's go, so that and that's kind of to the surprise of no one, right? And he's also the one that brought up the whole Bubba situation. That's where we're trying to figure out. Like, I think the whole internet had a pretty good weekend with this one. And it's fun to get,
It's very fun because the people who get mad at me online a few years out of the cycle, we all get to have a fun meme time together because we're sharing the same memes.
Right? Yeah, it's a fun meme. It's like, every now and again there's something nice, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. Like when Mamdani got elected, like everybody was like, "Yay, let's have a fun weekend, and then we'll get back to business." And everybody sucks and everything's horrible. And then it's like, "Yay, Trump did business." I'm gonna give the oral sex to I don't know the way you really want to say it, but that was the implication in the emails, that there was an exchange of blowjobbery between Trump and Bubba, and the real issue here with this is like, yeah, ha 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 ha, that comes out of the fact that Clinton was nicknamed Bubba, I guess, for all these years, whatever.
That was a joke somebody else made where it's like, did anyone even check if that was real? Because I just believed it instantly. I'm like, me too. Right. As soon as they said Clinton's nickname's Bubba, I'm like, yeah, sure, I believe that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I personally don't. That's something I haven't heard before. I've been around all this time. I'm old. I've been around and I've heard it, but I managed to not hear that. But it's like I would like not want to. But so I don't know about. I can't confirm that like personally knowledge of that. But the whole thing is kind of. It's speculative, but what it points out here is whether it was Clinton who has that nickname or somebody else who they ascribed that nickname to, which it could be a world full of people. The story is now out that Trump performed oral sex on a man. Okay.
He may be our first LGBTQ president. Maybe Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's what we've been led to believe through this document release, these emails released. And the real issue here, it's kind of burying the lead somewhat, because the real issue comes in on this, in that it's not like ha ha ha, because again on the Democrat side are like, again, disparaging the queer community by like, oh, he's a gay, he did a gay.
You get to do the fun thing of
look at President Dick Sucker over here.
Or you get to say he's bad because it's gay. Also, we are the allies of the gay community.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, it's the nuke with the BLM.
It's like when they put Putin in a dress. It's like, okay, so you're making fun of people wearing dresses. Like, you see what you're doing? You're just doing the same thing back on yourself.
But the highlight, like the bigger story here is that, and I am going to get kind of general here, but I don't think anybody's really going to argue with this point with me. I think the vast majority of straight men, again, not every one of them, and I'm not going to be on not all men here, but I am going to say, like, I can't blanket statement this, but a lot, let's say like a major swath of the straight male population, like, thinks it's fine to fuck teenage girls. Okay, like I think that they lust after teenage girls.
Michael somebody. It was one of these one of those what I thought was a shitlib account. Michael Tracy. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I wanted to, but like it was like suddenly I just saw a bunch of tweets talking about like, well, basically to the effect of, well, no one ever talks about the good Epstein did. He's like, look, when you look at these situations in Florida, the age of consent is blah blah blah, and like doing the whole like the number rationalization things. I'm like,
yeah, the numbers.
What's happening? Why is this guy do? Oh, he's one of the paid accounts. Okay, so
yeah, the pedophilia by numbers. You always get that. You always get that coming out of here. And the fact of it is the vast majority of straight males are totally fine with fucking teenage girls. They wish they could fuck teenage girls. Like, they think it's okay. Like, maybe they don't think like, it's okay if it's like an actual child, not seeing that under the age of consent is still a child. That still counts. They're just a taller child. If you've ever known a teenager, you know this, right? So There is no dichotomy here. There's no splitting hairs when it comes to age, Megyn Kelly. So that's what we're really talking about here. So
It's like
they're
evidence of the
going to
decline of
forgive.
your society. It's like if you don't have good things to do in your life, you're just sitting around all day. Like you don't have, if you don't have productive labor, this is what happens to your culture.
Yeah.
Everyone just
Everybody's out of a
does
job, and all they
drugs
do is
and
watch internet
weird
videos all day long.
sex. Everyone's addicted to
Time
porn.
Traveler says Dane Cook vibes about the fucking teenage girls. Correct. So the fact of the matter is they are going to forgive that all day long, because what does that make it sound like? Oh, these guys were players. They could get the ultimate goal of like young nubile teenage girls, right? Like that sounds great to these guys. But what they won't forgive is gayness, and that's where we really are. So at the end of the day, that is how he's going to lose the rest of the base if they don't just outright just deny this and say it's bullshit and lies and lies and lies. Now, I think we've all been, everybody who's known Trump for all this time, before presidency, before The Apprentice, years and years and years of Trump up our, asses. You wouldn't ascribe him to being a queer person necessarily. You wouldn't say that he would be willing to do these things. But then again,
he said he didn't give a shit about gay marriage in like the 90s, and everybody gave him a bunch of credit for that because he's from New York. He doesn't give it. He's like, that's fine. I don't care.
Right.
Gay people can marry.
Yeah, that's about as close as we get. Like he's always been this kind of, not, it's not my deal.
That was one of the original,
kind of
like, how could you, like, how is he possibly near the conservatives thing? Where they're like, dude, he's been like a pro-gay marriage since back when the conservative movement was very much against that, and he was pro-abortion, because he was like a New York Democrat up until 2012, whenever he first ran.
Right, and there was like a Playboy interview in the 90s where he's like, well, if I was ever going to run, I'd run as a Republican because they're so stupid.
I don't remember if that was a fake quote or not, but yeah.
No, it was it was a big, a large part of a larger story, and then that quote gets used, pulled, and
I've
used.
Certainly heard it a lot of times.
But the thing of it is you don't have to. Okay, let's have a basic conversation here about this. Like doing a sex thing doesn't make you eternally gay forever, okay? But here's the thing about that is we have talked before, and we know that the upper echelon of society, I mean the upper echelon, the lizard people, right? Like the top.
The Epstein class. I heard somebody say that, and I'm like, I'm taking that. I like saying that. The
good.
Epstein class.
But there's even people above them, right? And that's why Epstein, and we know everybody wants to pretend who did it, who killed Epstein. It was the goddamn IDF. He was working for the fucking IDF. That was his entire function. And when he became no longer useful, they killed his ass. So
he's what the mafia calls the bag man. He
right, yeah.
The
So
money.
yeah, the stupidest. Oh, the guy fell asleep and the camera wasn't working. Get out of here. So the point is that I'm making here is like it. Okay, so you cannot in good terms or bad terms necessarily brand Trump as like a closeted gay man, right? Like that's not the situation. What you should really be thinking of in a higher terms is yes, maybe something like this really did happen, and but then we're talking more about loyalty acts or acts of humiliation. Right. And I'll give you a good example of this. If you all remember from a few years when the Nexium cult blew up, with Keith Raniere and all this kind of stuff. Do you remember that? It was this guy that was trying to make a cult of it was basically a large pyramid scheme. And it's like, here, you can just spout bullshit. And then you get up to the next level of the pyramid and we give you a nice, funny scarf. And then you get another funny scarf. But he was also funneling, kind of separating men and women, having his lieutenants underneath him do this. And then in the women's side of the cult, there was like the secret upper echelon of the secret women, right? And their humiliation act was they had to have and it wasn't a brand like, if you go to the tattoo parlor and you get a chemical brand or a heat brand or something like that, as some people do, like in the way of a tattoo. They had to have in a group situation, an emblem burned into their peaches, their vaginas, not like the upper structure, but like their vulvas. But they had to have a symbol branded with a soldering iron drawn onto their vulvular area And then it was basically people figured out, and they did this. There was a whole group of women who did this. They thought they were going to somehow succeed in society. They were the most vulnerable people, that they were handpicked. Who do you think would go for this? Who do you think would go for this? And that was like the upper act of loyalty to the group. And these things were photographed, they were videoed in different ways and things like that. But leading up to that, to find out if they were going to be able to be a trusted member of this upper women's society, right? They literally had to do, I don't remember the term they used for it. They had their own special term for it, but they had to do things where they would prove their loyalty. And that might be something like, give us nude photos of yourself, or write up an email where you tell your parents that you fucking hate them and your dad molested you. And we'll take pictures of that. You don't have to send it, but we'll take pictures of that. And then if you disobey us in some way, or you do something that's going to tell, we'll send that to your family or whatever. So they had to kind of stair step their way into peace branding. So that's kind of what we're talking about, So that was something that was just these people fucking around, right? It was just these people. And now
we have a long storied history of weird secret organizations,
right?
Who, it's not that I think that magic is real, but there is definitely a long documented history of people, usually extremely rich people in the Epstein class, as I'm now calling them, who just get together and do weird shit.
Yeah, well, if you've ever heard of Skull and Bones, the Bushes were part of Skull and Bones, and that's a real thing, So that's the point I'm making here. It's like we're not talking the argument about gay. That's not it. And if you're engaging in that shit, you're a dickhead. The real story is humiliation rituals, compromise. It's making something out of something to prove that you are willing to do whatever it takes to be in this upper echelon of society and become a multi-billionaire, become the president of the United States. And then you have somebody. And on a final note of the Keith Raniere thing, he is in jail, and then somebody figured out after a while, after these brands were just his initials sideways. So he got women to brand other women's vaginas with his initials. So it's really that obvious. It's really that egotistical. And what they really only ended up getting him on was like seduction of a underage girl. Like that's really where it came from. Like they couldn't brand. And I was also one of these people, and I do agree. Like nobody made you sit down and let somebody do that to you. Like you chose to do that for whatever reason, right? But if the courts basically agreed, like, yeah, that's abuse and that really sucks, but you chose that life, right?
I guess the Diddy party might be like the most modern interpretation of this.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not even that complicated. It's just we're all together, we're all rich, we got a bunch of weird drugs, and we're gonna do some weird. I've heard about something about like that if you're like banging, and if someone takes like a bit of blood out of you right before, like that, that's really good. Sounds like a thing that rich people do. A guy will come around, hey, let me suck out some of your blood. Like,
yeah, I haven't heard that
blood rituals.
But I don't doubt it. But those things, it did come out in court with the Diddy stuff that the women who were forced into doing these things, I mean, same scenario, that these sex acts with strangers and sex workers and stuff like that, this was videotaped openly and widely. So again, what do you have there but, a loyalty pledge, or maybe you were incapacitated through the drugs, so they were force feeding you, but you essentially, that's this compromise on you. So if you decide that you're not going to do it, then okay, we're going to make this shit public. And that it's the exact same scenario. So don't think that Trump could not be a part of something like that, right?
Well, it's amazing how many people are a part of something like this, as we're finding out through these emails, and a lot of it is not nearly as we've now spent if you are not bored, but I don't know, bored by the Days of Our Lives-esque nature of this entire story. let's look at some boring dry things, which is just more of the what is it? It's all they're all in a big club and you aren't in it. The Epstein class, how people just all seem to. I don't know if Noam Chomsky was doing any of this psycho shit, but he sure
But
at
his
some
name has
point
come up associated with it at
he
this
needed
point.
Epstein to move money for him once, at least once that we know about, and then he was writing letters for Epstein, like, "Oh, this Epstein guy is something else. He's really great. You should." I think it was like a college letter he wrote him. Like they
And
were
that
just
that one
all
shithead
friends.
lawyer. I can't ever think of his name. That one shithead lawyer that is always that defends
It's not.
Nazis and stuff.
That's not who Larry Summers is it? He's another science
No, no,
person.
it's another guy. He wears like little Coke bottle glasses. He's old and he's definitely on the island.
Well, we
But
got Larry
I
Summers.
can't think of his name.
Oh, he's former Treasury Secretary. Okay. Larry Summers says Monday night because he was in a ton of these emails back and forth. They have those two going back and forth in a chummy manner. And it's also, you have to keep in mind that Epstein was already convicted in a way, so you can't, there's no possibility of like, oh, he didn't know, he didn't know this guy was bad news or whatever.
Right.
He'd already had a freaking conviction in Florida. So where are we? Telling CNN, Larry Summers here is telling him that he would pause all public engagements as he works to rebuild trust and repair relationships. It's just like not everybody in power, but a shocking number of people in like official positions of power, people who are very successful in their fields. If you're talking about a Chomsky, just seem to all be involved with this very small circle.
Right.
The Epstein class. So I think it's like an apt name for it. It's a good way to understand it. It's like
Right.
if you're of a position where you're having Epstein move around money for you,
Right.
you might be a not necessarily a quadrillionaire, but
Right.
you might
You're
be
part of the Epstein class.
hoita
And the thing is,
bourgeoisie.
something we have mentioned before as things have come to light, don't conflate the people whose names were on the flight logs with the people whose name, were known and are, tied in with money. That's a different situation. Everybody that owns private airlines lets other people hop a ride onto places. They weren't necessarily anything to do with being on the island or having financial doings.
That was Chomsky originally. Everyone was like, "Well, hey, look, he's on the thing, but it's not everybody who was." And then it's like, "Well, they were just kind of like general friends at least." And again, just
Right.
moving money for him and helping. I think he was helping Epstein get into a college. Like, how do you get into Harvard? It's like, well, you got to be friends with this guy, who's friends with this guy, who's basically the bookie for this guy. It's
Right.
just more like it's just mafia shit, but at a very, very high developed level,
Yeah.
like the global
Yeah.
mafia we got
Just
going on.
because you are a high society, upper echelon person doesn't mean you're part of the Epstein class necessarily. It obviously entraps a lot of people here. There's going to be a lot of people. If we got the full scope of everything, there'd be a lot of people from a lot of different worlds, not just the United States. But again, the flight logs, that's a separate issue. That's just people taking flights. Obviously, some of those people would be guilty, but the vast majority of those people were just hopping a ride and not necessarily involved.
You're probably kind of good at what you do if Epstein's trying to get you to get on a plane.
Right. It might have been a schmoozy thing. That's not to say,
Well, you
but
see
it
it
would be
here.
people like
Larry Sanders is talking to him about like dating advice and shit. It's like not even anything heavy. It's just like they're just hanging out. They're just casual
right.
back and forth emails.
Well, it's like, people like Barack Obama took those flights, and like I have a lot of hate for Barack Obama, but I really don't picture him being part of this particular.
He's probably having his money moved around by him though. I don't know if
Oh
he's
yeah,
banging
yeah,
any children.
yeah. Money and the island, I think, are two separate issues here as well.
It's like one of your side options. It's one of the side benefits of being like a gold member with Jeffrey Epstein. Is
Right,
you can
yeah.
go to the island
And
if you
all
want.
of this is going to amount to compromise for the IDF. So some people might have been realized what was going on and been like, nah, thanks. I'll just get off this flight and never talk to you again.
Well, yeah,
But other
Harvard.
people might have listened to the pitch. And what they get out of that is like, okay, you're like a Epstein member, right? So now you can fuck teenage girls on my island. That's what you get for giving me your money to play around with. Obviously that worked quite a bit,
So on this one I got, here we are. And then we have Chomsky here. New release, this is Scientific American, because he said that these are academics, some of these guys. Lawrence Summers, and linguist Noam Chomsky, who corresponded with Epstein even after his 2008 conviction for sex crimes. Krauss is a former member of Scientific American's Board of Advisors. He was removed from the board in 2018 following allegations of sexual misconduct. The records show that Krauss, author of best-selling book Physics of Star Trek, exchanged more than 6 emails with Epstein, who is a financial supporter of Arizona State University's Origin products. And was
I have that book around here somewhere in my house.
Physics of Star Trek?
Point, I think. The Star Trek book, yeah.
It's because a lot of these people were freaking popular. Like Chomsky's whole like manufacturing consent idea, like a lot of Chomsky's ideas are valuable and valid. Like he has done good work in some of his field, but man, yeah, it turns out like there's a reason Chomsky never really took stands on anything.
Anything
He's
serious, yeah.
just kind of softly in the back because he's like, I don't want to get messed with. I've seen what they do to people, and I don't want it to happen to me.
Right.
Or he's so somehow compartmentalized that he like didn't know it was happening, which I do have a hard time believing. Or again,
Right.
he was convicted of sex shit in 08.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in-
Like you can't act if you continue the relationship. You are aware of what
In
happened.
2015,
Like, why are you in jail now, Jeff?
they're
Why do I have
talking
to talk to you in jail?
You are, of course, welcome to use a apartment in New York with your new leisure time, or visit New Mexico again. Like, it's casual. There's like, here, stay in my place. Come over. Let's go to the
Yeah.
Epstein, a fun party.
And that's
Yeah,
the
well,
thing too. When he's kind of, I will use the term grooming because, like, just because, like, okay, so say you're like new to the political sphere, or you're like a overnight success in like music or something. Like, people are gonna come at you from these upper echelons and then try to like groom you into their particular situation, their web, whatever, and they're gonna offer you shit in the meantime.
Well, here the grooming
And
is just donations to your freaking grant to do your project. It can be that basic.
precisely,
Oh,
it
here's
could
some
be
money.
anything. Like, they're gonna try and essentially grease your palm, like give you what you want, stroke their ego, and
they do weird cult crazy sex shit like
yeah, and then
it's
that's sort of
basic
like the
economics,
benefit. Like, they
and
offer that to people, and then some people are so stupid and so like new to the situation. They're like, "Oh, rad," and they have no foresight about like they're literally filming you right now, you idiot.
yeah,
You know?
it's a mixture, and what aligns them is class interest. They all have the interest in the same in things going a particular way, and they get over all kinds of obstacles.
Mhm.
Freaking Jeff over there is a crazy sex island, the horrible criminal, blah blah blah. That's fine. He's moving money for us. We'll just keep.
Yeah, right. And it's like that. It's like that for a lot of people in life. Like, not on that level, but it's like, like he, the guy's our banker, and he does really good shit for us, and he gets our money, but he's really fucking abusive to his family. But that's not
horrible,
my business.
He's a terrible guy.
He's a
But
terrible guy. But I
we
just do
can't
my shit
frickin-
and I go.
we
I
can't
don't
come
think
together
about it.
over
I don't talk about it.
the what is it, the Epstein class is aware of their shared interest, and they
Yeah.
work together. And yes, there are disagreements on how best to go about the course, but the course is like, yeah, of course we all understand what we need. Like that's why things don't change between quote both parties. And the working class, like everybody else, we will fight over frickin' anything. We're fighting over trans people and gays and,
Right. Yeah.
and race
More,
and blah
more
blah. It's like, dude,
distractions.
you got a eye on the prize, and that's how you end up with your socialism, communism,
Right.
whatever. If we behave in the same unified class interest that the owning class does, we will beat them. Because right now they're just better at way better. It's a much more developed class. They've been going around since like the 1400s,
Right.
and then you eventually get to this. You have
And they
weird
own,
Catholics doing crazy sex shit,
yeah.
and all the way up to current Diddy Party crazy sex shit.
Right, yeah, and then if they're gonna be like literally the owning class, like they own all the resources that takes to get these people into the fold.
My last Epstein connection, how just everybody succeeding seems to be freaking connected to this guy, is you have various high institution reporters who also would go back and forth with this guy. Where are we? Culver, director of the Center of Journalism Ethics at the University of Wisconsin. Oh, we're off of First Amendment. .mtsu.edu. So this will be an interesting source here. Director of the Center for Journalism Ethics at the University of Wisconsin, said there were plenty of ethical issues to navigate every day, such as whether a reporter should give $20 after interviewing a poor person who lost benefits during the government shutdown. Giving PR advice to convicted sex offender is not one of them, she said. Wolf, a two-time National Magazine Award winner, wrote books including Fire. Okay, but it's detailing how the kind of chummy relations between Epstein and various like New York Times level published reporters who are, hey, I got an interview. This guy called asking about you, who's writing a book. You should like look out. Basically, like giving him heads ups,
Right.
insider information as to help him dodge repercussions for all of the various things.
Right. And I think the highlight here that you should know is like with Nexium, like with Diddy, like with Epstein, all of this shit comes to light eventually. They can't stay. It doesn't matter if it's been a really long time. Eventually, somebody talks. Are you being quiet or did you freeze?
I'm just being. I talked for a bit and I was
Okay.
given some air here. Many
Yeah,
of
I
the
know because I
exchanges,
saw the thing was moving, but
right? Many of the exchanges between Epstein
well,
and the journalists are
here's the
chatty.
question now.
Yeah, they're just like hanging out, like seemingly
Right now,
harmless, just talking. It's just I don't know. There isn't like a council of evil meeting where everyone gets together and like it's just it's
right?
fucking
Yeah,
emails now. You're just like, hey bud, boo boo boo, and you're just like talking to the money handler of the most
and
powerful
that's
people in the world.
right. And then again, I think people have this notion that the Epstein files means like here's the spreadsheet of all the names
And a
and phone numbers.
checkbox
We
for every
got it,
crime committed.
and a checkbox for like
Did
yeah
they do
yeah for all the
this?
things that they did. Right? No, that does not exist. That is Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, she is the black book. She is the Excel spreadsheet of names. That was literally her job, just like in like Nexium, like I described. There would be, you know, a trusted female, you know, companion slash uh, groomer, I guess, who would not only procure the girls to be abused and use their services, so to speak, but they would also, you know, if he thought he could approach someone specifically, he would, like, you know, kind of bro on
Like
bro. But
weird
for
swinger couple.
yeah, but for everyone, okay, there's so much money involved is really the headline on that. But for everyone else, they would send in like, you know, this, I know there's a word for it, but I can't think of it, but like, you know, the soft seller, like, you know, somebody
Like
who
a
could
weird,
get
like
to
a
these people
honeypot kind of thing.
and, you know, slowly get them into it, you know, slowly work them up into it. Like, oh, hey, do you want to go to this? I have free reign of this really amazing resort. Do you want to meet me there this weekend? And then, you know, you get them alone and you talk to them and stuff like that. And you make them think that they've got something, you know, okay, cool. Oh, we had such a good time. Do you want to go do this thing with me? And it just keeps courting people until you eventually get to the like point where they can start, you know, using you in you know, developing your compromise
Diddy
forward,
party.
essentially.
Watch Showgirls.
So
It's actually, I don't know, go watch Showgirls. It's a crazy movie, very entertaining. Okay, I found like the
yeah,
specific
it's
quote I was looking for
it's
here. In one email conversation, former New York Times reporter Landon Thomas Jr. mentions he'd been getting calls from another journalist who was writing a book on Epstein. He seems very interested. This is what he's telling Epstein. He seems very interested in your relationship with news media. Haha, relationship with news media. Thomas wrote to Epstein. I told him you were a hell of a guy. So when you see me going like, well, the New York
oh
Times
god.
said it, we should all believe it. It's like, this is the kind of people who work for the New York Times, man. Like, it's epitome of journalism over here.
But also writing a book on Epstein, do you have a fucking death wish? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Like, you obviously aren't going to be able to, like, you know,
No.
spill the story here unless you know, want to die.
Epstein
But
gave him 30 grand at some point. Was it a contribution?
like, what
to
is that,
charity?
like a 3-page long book? It's like, oh, he's great and everybody loves him, nothing else.
He's awesome. He's a hell of a guy, as they said. Take Trump girls
Yeah.
in bikinis.
He's great. He's great.
All right, that's enough of me. That's my the Epstein updates for the week. They're all in a big club, and you aren't in it. And it's class.
Well,
It's all class,
I
baby.
guess the cap right. Yeah, and here's the capstone of the conversation, I think, because again, we're stair stepping into this. We can only talk about what's happening. And this is a big move. If it were honest and real and straightforward and not fucked around with, and if there really was a spreadsheet and that. So
By all means,
I pose this
put 'em out,
question to
everybody.
you. Where does this lead? What is this? Was it going to pass the Senate? Like, where does this go from here?
I want the
You know,
grander where does this go?
what
Because
happens?
everybody is in basic agreement that we all know it's quote real. We know that everyone's in it. Like Republicans, Democrats, Clintons, blah blah blah. Like we just got another. Sorry, big piece of trash blew my window. It startled me. It's like a big bag. A
Tumbleweed.
tumble shopping bag. But like we already know, quote, it's true. Like what kind of disclosure are you waiting for? But and then even if they came out tomorrow and had full like, yeah, here you go. What would actually happen? Would anyone do anything differently? Or I'll be like, oh
Right.
yep, see, I knew it. And then you just go to work.
Yeah, and it would, the way I see it is the only thing that could really be done or that really would come of it is this sort of reputation damaging stuff, which again
The
would be
system's
cherry
just got
picked
no
because
legitimacy.
everybody would.
Nobody fucking trusts the
Right. Well, everybody would argue, okay, this was like an international waters thing, and this was statute of limitations. Like they come up with every kind of legal stop block to not get in trouble, like no matter who it was. But there would still be people that people revere so much, like Trump, that he will only see no consequence from this whatsoever, not even, socially,
Th-
because everybody already thinks he's
This
a
might
piece of
be
shit.
spinning
I
into
mean,
Trump impeachment number 3. I do think they'll probably impeach him again. I don't think he'll get kicked out because that's a whole separate thing, but he'll probably get impeached a third time. And then everybody that'll spin the news cycle up for a little bit. That'll get the Dems all hyped for for a few
right.
months.
Right. Yeah. And they'll use that as their jumping off point for 2028. And
Maybe that's how you'll figure out who the
I
candidate
I don't see, even if they do the impeachment and I go through all of that and everybody actually agrees to do it again, I just don't really see him facing, or anybody involved facing, any kind of real
because we
criminal.
all have been shown it does not matter. He's already been impeached. He already has the
Right.
40 million
Yes.
felonies or whatever. It's like, yeah, but nothing really happens, right? He just gets to keep.
And it's like people are saying, like, they're really like cheering for it. They really want it to happen. It's like, okay, well, you got the right idea, but like, whenever in life have you ever seen a rich bad
Doesn't
guy
happen.
get
And we
what's
all
coming
know,
to
like,
him?
we're all just over it.
It doesn't
It's like I
happen.
was saying earlier, all the easy stuff has already been tried. Like they were like, well, maybe if we impeach him, the thing will like fix itself. Like maybe I will jiggle the machine in a way that it like keeps going for a little bit. And I guess it did for a minute because everyone's like, look, America did the right thing and impeached it. It's like, okay, so what is that? Well, now we can't run again. It's like that's not what that means. and
No, yeah, right? Yeah, that's how that means. You could literally run from
then
prison.
he won again. And everyone's like,
It's
okay.
totally
So now we're
allowed.
just down to crazy weirdo shit. We're just all the easy stuff has already been tried. What now does the system
Yeah.
do to try and like alleviate itself, to right itself? Because I don't believe that there is a secret council of evil that's making conscious decisions. I think the system kind of runs under its own power, and we're seeing
Right.
the normal options are taken now. Now is the time of weirdo shit, more and more ridiculous shit every week, and the Bill Clinton blowing Bill Clinton story was I think the tip of the iceberg.
And where do you go from there? Where do you even go from there? This is like now the most ludicrous shit that could possibly come out of all of this. Like, okay, what okay, if fucking kids isn't enough, and one president blowing another president isn't enough, like where do you even go?
Hey man,
Like
uniparty.
there's nothing more shock value. There's nothing that you can do to get like people
There's no
to
more
move on
perfect
anything
of
at this
a
point.
metaphor than the ultra MAGA, the other one. He's not MAGA, baby. If that's what I'm saying, those are the real ones. If you actually care about America, you're nowhere near Donald Trump at this point. But you have the Republican
Right,
guy, the
right.
Democrat guy, and they're blowing each other. It's like, what could be more poetic?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that too. It's like, okay, if you want to just talk politics, like,
supposed
okay,
to be
like even if they're
enemies.
just out there for doing it for fun, like or whatever, like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you suddenly still feel that the parties are
What
so
if you found out
divided?
that Andre the
Like,
Giant was
they're clearly
blowing
not,
Hulk Hogan? They're supposed to be enemies.
right? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's and that should show you it is political theater. It's all been political theater. It's completely staged. And we've said that a lot. It's WWE. It's not real. None of this shit is real. This is why that they do the bidding of all these rich corporations. It's why we now have a trillionaire at the same time that like homelessness is out of control and people aren't being able to fucking eat. And he's crashed the economy like maybe worse than anybody's ever done somehow.
There's a bunch of criminals doing mobster
But
shit.
you will still have people coming to his
We
defense.
all know that it's just that. So like, what do you do?
It is a criminal organization. Right. When you get to that level and you have a country as big as this, even a tiny country, they do the same thing. Like corruption is the name of the game. You don't have to be like, oh, the gangs are running that it doesn't matter. It's the cartels are doing. No, it doesn't matter. The real enemies are the guys that are wearing suits and getting paid six figures and all the healthcare that they can consume, that are passing votes and taking bribes to, decide how policy is going to go at your personal
You just
expense.
write a letter of recommendation for Epstein, and then boom, you get your funding.
Yeah, right. And I think that exactly. And I think that like at your personal expense has never been more obvious than it is right now. These people are doing these things and they are gaining grossly gaining at your personal expense. The reason you can't afford a house, the reason food is unaffordable, the reason the SNAP benefits get, it's just one thing after another, ICE, all this, and this. This has directly affected and impacted people. Like, usually when a policy passes, it's to the benefit of these upper echelon people,
especially
or corporations, but
everybody's
it doesn't
agreed.
necessarily impact people.
How are they going to turn releasing the Epstein files,
Right.
quote unquote,
And it doesn't necessarily impact people personally.
We're having like the
Yeah,
Skype
and then
delay
that's what
thing
we're really
where
talking about.
we're
So
offset now and keep talking over each other.
yeah, and that's probably our cue to end this show. And we're going to come back to you here in a couple of minutes with Jared's reading, following up from last
Socialism,
week.
bad
So
versus
we will
good.
be back. And
The Reckoning. That's the title of the essay.
yes, yeah. We're going back to school. He's going to be putting on his teacher outfit, and we're gonna listen because that's what you do. So he's got some information for us coming up. So you can't really stay tuned, but just tune back in when the stream comes live. Yeah, and then he's gonna give us some historical context to why this shit, what works and what doesn't work, and why everything is stupid and wrong. So thank you for joining us. So we appreciate you. Again. You can watch all of our videos, our entire catalog, and we are now right around 100 episodes, and we just celebrated our 2-year show anniversary. So hooray for all the wrong reasons. That's what the
reading is for. That's how I celebrate.
Right. Yeah. So we're treating you to a little bit of extra content here. Again, you can reach us on our socials if there's something that we're not talking about that you'd like to hear us talking about. We are completely independent. So if we do this at our, we don't get paid for this. We don't have any sponsors, as you can see. So your likes, your subscribes, that really helps us further what we're doing here. And we are assholes with opinions, and we should get to say them to more people. So you like, subscribe, share, and do all that stuff. But we will be back in just a few minutes. So thanks for joining us. And I'm going to see how to change the screen on this, and we're going to see what happens. So okay, here we go. Bye, guys.